Hi, I'm Ruth Munro, Science Educator at Discovery Centre, and you're here for Let's Discover with Urban Parent. This week's experiment involves a little bit of dancing. Now, I'm not the one that's going to be doing the dancing, that's a really bad idea, but I do have some volunteers over here. I'm thinking this is going to be our dancing raisin experiment. You are going to need some glassware, a couple of glasses, you could try different shapes if you like, some tap water, some soda water or club soda, and some raisins. And we're going to pour this water into our beaker right here. And you don't need to use a beaker for this, any old glass will do. If I place this here, we're then going to drop in some of our raisins. Let's grab a handful. Now, the thing that we like to do in science when we're doing experiments is often we like to repeat them over and over again, at least until we have a sense that what we are seeing in the experiment is what really happens most of the time. So I want you now to maybe make a prediction, decide what you think will happen when I drop this little raisin into this beaker of water. Will it sink, float, maybe dance around in the middle somewhere? Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Sink. That's pretty unexciting, but you know, let's try again. We'll repeat that experiment, see if this always happens. 3, 2, 1. Sink. All right. Third one. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I think we're fairly safe to say now that these raisins, even the ones that are left in my hand, are most likely to sink in water. Let's just test that. Okay. This could be the most boring science experiment that you have seen all day. Fear not, we can change up one of our variables. That's just one part of our experiment that we're going to make different. I think this time we'll change from using plain old tap water to using this stuff here. This is soda water, or club soda. And the big difference with this, well, you probably notice this when we start to pour it out. Interesting sound. So I'm going to try and get roughly the same amount of water. By now you can probably see those bubbles. Alright, need a little more. Okay, now it's time. Another few raisin volunteers. I wonder what's going to happen this time, so let's try the experiment again. So 1, 2, 3, drop down. Okay, sinks to the bottom, interesting. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, drop down. Whoa! Did you guys see that? It seems to now be floating. It definitely dropped down to start with. Let's try another one. And let's keep going here. And maybe a little... That's interesting. Some of these are coming back up to the top. Now we have 5 raisins that have floated back to the top after initially sinking down to the bottom of the beaker. Something different is definitely happening here. And as we said earlier, the big difference between our plain old tap water and our soda water is bubbles. Those little bubbles are full of carbon dioxide gas. And that carbon dioxide gas is less dense or lighter than the surrounding water. And if you look really closely, you'll be able to see that those bubbles are sticking all over the outsides of our raisins. Thing is, some of these raisins I notice are now going to the top, then going back down, then going back up to the top and going back down, almost like they're dancing. And I think it could be to do with what happens to those bubbles when you reach the top of the water. All of the little bubbles, as they reach the top of the water, popping. Near the bottom of the beaker, a whole bunch more bubbles are able to get around those raisins and make them lighter again in the water, and they float back up to the top. You know what? I might try this again with some different glassware. Well, as you can see, I've rated the glassware cupboard, but you know what? I think this looks pretty awesome. You can see the raisins here are, wow, they're floating, they're sinking, they're floating over and over again, almost like they're dancing. I think it's pretty awesome. And this is a great experiment to try at home. I've been Ruth Munro, and this has been Let's Discover for Urban Parent with Dancing Raisins.